I know a lot of people are online trying to get started in real estate, and the two most common active income you're going to come across ideas is real estate flipping and also real estate wholesaling. Now, you may have seen some HGTV videos.
Oh no. No, 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 no.
And that might have you thinking that, real estate flipping is the best. But in this video, we'll go ahead and compare if real estate flipping or wholesaling is better for you. Let's start with this Million Acres article wrote back in February of this year. 3 things house flippers should know in 2021. So they say house flipping profits are at a 20-year high. So if you've been wondering whether the time is right for a fix and flip investment strategy, the data suggests it may be the best time in a while. According to ATT OM Data Solutions, house flipping profits have soared to their highest level in 20 years. In the third quarter of 2020, the average gross profit on a flip was $73,766, up from $61,800 in the third quarter of 2019. That's a pretty big jump. Now, that said, there's one big caveat to those figures. The profit margins listed do not account for the cost of any renovations or other expenses required to put the home on the market.
Bruh.
Rather, this data simply focuses on the difference between an investor's purchase price and the eventual sale price for the property. With that in mind, budgeting is extremely important here. And that's really the main thing when it comes to flipping. It all depends on how much work the property needs. When you flip real estate, there can be all kind of things that come up that you were not initially planning for in the beginning in your beginning estimates. Now, I want to let you guys know, I have not flipped a property myself. I've not done that. And I know plenty of people who have. I know plenty of wholesalers who've flipped properties as well. And I know, other investors whom their main investment strategy is fixing and flipping the property. Now, I can't tell you from hearing both sides of the spectrum, wholesalers that's flipping and also, flippers who their main thing is to flip. They, like the profits, but they all really talk about the unexpected things that pop up. And that's kind of the biggest thing that gets them upset when it comes to flipping. Whereas with wholesaling real estate, like I know, you're in and out, within 30 days. Usually at most 30 days, you'll close your transaction. But, typically you guys will close within a 15 to 20 day time period. So with wholesaling real estate, you're making the money quicker, but you may be making, a smaller assignment fee. So there's not much data, unlike flipping real estate. There's not many articles that is telling you, how much money you get from each wholesale deal or things like that. But you can read things online, and the common, consensus in the community of wholesaling is the average deal is going to range, depending on location, between $10,000 to $30,000. Now, if you go to a flip where, in a market like this may not be the best time to actually buy the property to flip it. But, you never know. A good deal is a good deal in any market. And that's why I believe that wholesaling real estate is the main thing that you would, like to put your focus more towards, especially if you're just beginning in real estate. Now, hear me out. If you are somebody who's, you don't have the time to wholesale real estate, you're not, looking into how to do the business and things like that, I understand it can be overwhelming. That's why a lot of people, I feel like, get into flipping because, you can watch an HGTV episode, and you can, if you're already a handy type of person, you can get some people together and you can go and fix up a property. Now, another step forward is if you have money, then you can just go ahead and hire a whole group, hire some contractors. They just fix up the property for you, and you're the financial investment interest. So why would you, as a person who already has so much money, feel like doing wholesaling real estate, right? Now, it depends on your scenario. I'm suggesting that when you first start off, you first start off in wholesaling real estate. And the reason why, to, unpack it even more, wholesaling real estate, for one, you're getting directly to the seller. That's something that everybody in real estate wants to do, whether you're a realtor or whether you're a person who's flipping or whether you're a person who's, a fix or in a buy and hold investor. Either way, you want to get directly to the seller. So when it comes to wholesaling real estate, you're getting directly to the seller first. So with you getting directly to the seller first, getting the property up under contract, you really control who you give it to, right? So you control who you give it to, or whether you keep it yourself. You're the plug. So you are the person who ultimately, has the first option. So remember, wholesale real estate transaction, there's several different exit strategies from one transaction. There's about, 4 or 5 of them. So with that one transaction, including the fix and flip and also buy and hold, but there's 3 other ones that don't involve any of that. So you as a real estate investor, mind frame, especially starting off in the beginning, if you're the person that's, investing into real estate, that is somebody who's wholesaling real estate, and you're wholesaling real estate and you're already getting directly to the seller, and you eventually, if you decide to, I feel like a lot of wholesalers kind of got this in their head, like, if I work my way up to a flip. I don't believe personally that, working your way up to a flip is even a necessary thing per se, just because flipping, it takes up a lot of time. And like I said, there's a lot of things that could pop up as far as, dealing with just different people. Just, you're dealing with people, so that's variables within itself. But you have contractors, depending on how big the flip is as well. So you have a lot of things that if you don't just hire somebody and you got the money like that, just hire somebody and you got a nice business like that and it's a killer deal, then that makes sense. But all right, I want to give you guys the real true, or what I feel is the best, because like I said, flipping is not something that's even on my radar. I'm not really too interested in that. Now, what I am interested in is wholesaling. So I've spoken again with wholesalers who are flipping properties, and also, real estate investors who are just flipping properties. That's their main, thing, is just flipping. And also, buy and hold as well, but flipping the main thing. Now, I've spoken with both of them, and they really come into agreement about wholesaling real estate. Now, if this is your first time ever hearing about wholesaling real estate, then, I'll give you a brief overview. So wholesaling real estate is something that, before I get into that, can you hit that like and subscribe button? Appreciate it. Now, wholesaling real estate is when you are the person that, if you're the wholesaler, right? Say you get a property that's a killer deal. I'm talking about you get it at $50,000. It's probably at $110,000 on Zillow. The ARV is like 140. It needs about, let's say, $20,000 in work. So even putting $20,000 into it, you're at a $70,000 profit. So if it's just a killer deal like that, again, you're not trying to, now that's a real good deal. But let's say 120,000 is the profit, just to make it a little different. All right, so 120,000, so $50,000. But then once you get out of the closing costs and everything else, you probably be down to like 40,000. So with you being around like a $40,000 profit, or you can, let's say, wholesale this property and get in and out of it. It's better to get in and out of it, but you would only be able to make about, let's say, $10,000, because they have to put $20,000 into it, so they can have like a $25,000, $30,000 profit, right? Stay with me with the numbers, like write it down. So at this point, if you're selling it, you get it at 50. If you're selling it to an investor at 60,000, they have to put 20 into it. They get it at 80, and then let's say they sell it at 120. Then you're at $120,000, but you're probably at about 30,000 after all the fees and stuff, realtor commission, everything else. So with you being right there, you can decide to sell it off, make the quick 10 grand, which is great on a wholesale deal, right? Or you can decide to flip it, as we just discussed. If you were to actually flip it yourself, put that $20,000 into it, you get it at $50,000, and this is you wholesaling it. You get it at the $50,000, you put that 20 into it, you get the 70,000, and then you sell it at 120. You're at 50,000, and then let's just take away 10 grand for fees and realtor commission, everything else. So that you're at a $40,000 profit. Now, the other thing there is a hotel, right? So the hotel is when you basically put lipstick on a pig. That's what they say, right? So if you go in there and let's say you get this at $50,000, the ARV is $120,000. Let's say you go in there and you put about $5 grand into it, right? Maybe you clean it out. Maybe you paint it, maybe you do just the bare minimum, little cosmetic things, if it's not a complete rut. And that's the thing. You can't do this with you could possibly maybe put a new roof on a complete, tear down, not a tear down, but it's down to the studs. then you probably could put a new roof on it to quickly increase the value. But if you get, you know, a property like this, let's say, you know, it's just got some cosmetic things needed, you know, maybe some just light things needed, right? Mainly cosmetic. So you go in there and you do some nice updating with just putting some paint on the wall, and, you know, maybe even putting some new tiling down, new flooring, hardwood floors, and just bare minimum things. Put about 5 to, let's say, even 10 grand in there. You could very possibly get a retail buyer, right? So a retail buyer who's looking to fix up the property themselves, right? It's a hot market. They're not looking for anything that's brand new. They don't want a custom built home. They don't want anything like that, right? They want something that you can just, they can get in there, they can move in it, and they can fix it as they live in the property, right? This is your retail client who's going to be your most likely buyer for a hotel kind of deal. So you'll get in there, let's say you put 10 grand into it, right? Just to make the numbers, you know, better, right? So let's say 10 grand into it, you got it at 50, you put 10 into it, you at 60, you could very possibly turn around and sell that for $100,000 to $105,000. Very possibly. And like very strongly, because it doesn't need any, you know, real work, right? No structural damage, no plumbing needed, no like big things needed, you know, and with it not needing any big work, let's say it's the 3-bed, 2-bath home, you know, that's very valuable, especially for a family who's looking to get into the market, you know, not at the top of it, but, you know, they're looking for a starter home that they can make a custom touch to, right? So that is a hotel, and I believe that is the best alternative, the middle ground for real estate investing. And obviously, I feel like, you know, if you're wholesaling, and I feel like, you know, if you're somebody who already has the money, you can, you know, do the flip thing if that's what you want to do. But if you already have the money like that, then you might be just, you know, doing the bird method, right? Getting your rental portfolio up. And if you're somebody who's starting off at the beginning, wholesaling real estate is the best option because you get such a broad understanding of everything in real estate, right? Like, it depends on what you treat your wholesaling business like. If you treat your wholesaling business, let's say if you're somebody who's treating your wholesaling business like a job, right? Like a 9-to-5 job, then that's what it'll be for you. So if you're somebody who's treating your wholesaling business, you just clock in and clock out by getting on your phone and then getting off, and that's all you do, then that's what it'll be, another 9-to-5, and there's no real growth there. But if you're someone who's intrigued genuinely in real estate and all the different avenues, because wholesaling real estate is just one exit strategy of multiple exit strategies. I have to really, like, maybe one day I'll do a video about the different exit strategies in real estate, but I really feel like, just off the top of my head, without giving it too much thought, there's about 5 of them. And wholesaling real estate is one. Then you have, you know, others with, you know, seller financing, right? And then you have, you know, subject twos. And then you have, you know, the flipping, fixing, flipping, right? But then you have triple leases. So you got so many things with real estate, exit strategy wise, that if you're genuinely interested in real estate, wholesaling real estate is a great just start, you know, with the training wheels on. And then as you get your money up, and as you get your smarts up, right, that's going to attract the wealth. So as you get your smarts up about not only just, you know, real estate, but also self-improvement and all those kind of things, you'll attract so many great opportunities and deals that you'll now have a new awareness of how to actually, you know, how to actually benefit the most out of these deals versus looking at the wholesale real estate, which is amazing. You know, you get in and out of it, but at the same time, there's other exit strategies for you that does not involve, you know, fixing the property up, possibly, let's just, you know, quick numbers here, and I'll go ahead and get you guys out of here. Quick numbers, let's say you had this is off the top of my head, let's say you got a fix and flip, and let's say, you know, you put about, let's say you get it at 20, you put 20 into it, so you have 40,000, and then let's say you sell it for, let's say 60,000, right? So $20,000 profit is how much you're going to get on a fix and flip for this, right? Now, of course, you can do a wholesale deal, get $20,000, you know, profit as well. But people think fix and flip is more scalable because, you know, you come to the table with the money versus not coming to the table with the money on paper. So you are at this price and you are set to make $20,000, but this $20,000 flip, right? This has taken you, let's just say, and this is being generous, I'll say 3 months, right? But let's say 2 months. I'll be generous. Let's say this $20,000 flip took you 2 months. 2 months, you in and out, and that's very generous. If you're flipping property, you know that's probably generous. But then it may not be, depending on how your situation is set up. But let's say 2 months, right? So 2 months, You got a 2-bed, 1-bath home. It's probably like 900 square feet, 800 square feet. You selling at $70,000 or $60,000. You making $20,000. So all of your labor, everything you put into, you make $10,000 a month, right? So you got the 20,000, and I'm gonna say 20, and I'm gonna say you went out the door with 20. You did it for sale by owner, no commission, no fees, none of that. You made the buyer pay all that. So you got $20,000 and you got $10,000 each month, whereas a wholesaler could have, let's just say closed 2 deals. Remember I told you the average deals are $10,000 to $30,000 depending on your area. So the wholesaler could have closed 2 deals, let's say at $10,000 and made $20,000, and they were most likely at home, at the coffee shop, at Panera Bread, at the park, making phone calls, going on trips whenever they wanted to, going on, exercise, fitness, focused on all this stuff. No stress, just living life. And, on the phone about, let's say, 3-4 hours a day. They got the connections is just the press of a button as far as the buyer. They got a wholesaling operation set up. So once they get the property, it's not a big deal to sell it. It's going to happen like that. So, you tell me which is better. As always, either way it go, have your heart in each step, and you're already a success. Thanks for watching. Wait. 1 second. So, between me and you, if you stayed this long, then you definitely are a real stepper. So give yourself a quick round of applause and a pat on the back. I appreciate you sticking with me. And if you like to hear me talk longer, which I have no problem doing, I have a whole course, Cold Call to Success, where I explain to you guys how I have, gained my success in real estate investing, wholesaling, with 2.5 years of full-time experience and mainly on the phone. So I show you guys all the tips, tricks, and techniques that I've learned with cold calling real estate, and I teach you guys how to cold call to success. If you like to order that course, go ahead and click the link in the description. I appreciate you watching.